Welcome. My name is Rob Boyd, and today we are tackling what has become a crucial question for every IT department to answer. Is now the right time to embrace managed services as key to your successful IT strategy? When it comes to managed services, have there been some trends that we've seen over time? Lay the groundwork here for us.
There's a little bit more to it now, though, than there was maybe 5 years ago, because one thing that we've seen is that the networks have continued to get more and more complex. And this added network complexity means that you're ending up having to spend time that you don't have sending people to training classes. And so what I really see managed services as giving us the opportunity for doing is taking your staffing that you have now and moving them more from the tactical to the strategic side, so that if it comes down to the simple tactical tasks, you're able to let those folks take care of it.
Dee, I don't want to leave you out here. The Cisco obviously makes, we talked about this in the open, the integrated services router.
Right.
How has that platform helped managed service providers and customers? Because there's a lot of services in this thing. How is that kind of changing the game? What has Cisco been coming out with in that regard?
We focus on the branch, and we call this term empowered branch, because we found that in many cases it's the branch office employees that are customer facing, and they have to deal with a WAN as opposed to a LAN that all these applications are designed for, really. And so we wanted to make sure that their situation in the branch is as good as those people in the headquarters. So the idea is, if you combine these services, you know, branch offices are starting to have less and less equipment in those branch offices. And if you combine multiple services into a single platform, such as the ISR, then that way you start to see a lot more efficiencies.
We're just about out of time, but Steve, I want to give you the last word. What do we need to leave here thinking?
Well, I think the first thing we have to say is that we have to forget the O word, that was outsourcing. Let's admit it. In the early 90s, the outsourcing was a disaster. However, what we're doing today is selective sourcing. And by that selective sourcing, what I mean is that what we're really get into here is saying, where does it make the most sense to do things in-house, and where does it make the most things to use a trusted provider of some form to relieve some of the stress in-house and to make most efficient use of the dollars, whether they're capital dollars or dollars that we're using for ongoing services.
So if you're a customer wrestling with this classic dilemma of how do I do more with less, this hopefully illustrates a few avenues that should be high on your priority list. Look for Cisco branded services from your service provider so you know what you're getting. If you want more info for that, please check out cisco.com/go/empowered-branch. Now, if you're on the service provider side, you want to look for more information, you're offering these kind of services, then of course you need to be considering the mature products and programs. Don't forget about this, that we have for making this as turnkey as possible for you. So for more information, please check out cisco.com/go/managed services.